Hello, welcome to the Eli Phillips Perspective. Second episode today. I feel like the first one went really well.
Yeah.
What was y'all's thoughts on the first one?
You got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I was listening to it and just hearing like how Zach Morgan like studied the Bible was like almost mind blowing to me. Like he said, he's 2 months into Zechariah and he's only 3 verses in. I thought that was wild, and it kind of challenged me to like dig deeper into like how I study the Bible and how I view God's word. Nico.
Watching it was just a reminder to me. Like the biggest thing I pulled from it was that I may feel like I think someone wants to join the podcast over there. But I may feel like I'm like mature in my faith and I'm at a good place in my faith, but there's always room for growth. There's always people to look at who are sort of at a point where I would want to get to. Yeah. And so it was just like reminding myself that hey, don't be complacent where you're at. Be content in this season kind of thing, but be seeking that constant improvement and that constant growth towards becoming closer to Christ. Yeah. And seeing what Jack just said, seeing how invested he was into studying the word was truly just admirable and just a place where I definitely am striving to reach.
Yeah, I really enjoyed what he had to do about the Bible study part, because I found myself yesterday literally just going down a rabbit hole of Romans and why Paul wrote it and just kind of the background information, the introduction, and I was just 2 hours just looking at all these different articles and things like that, just because he said that's what he does, and I was like, that's so valid.
Yeah, and kind of what you were saying, Nico. I thought it was crazy how I might feel like I'm at a good spot in my faith, and I look at Zach Morgan and I'm like, wow, the way he studies Bible is crazy. But then Zach was talking about how that Jewish rabbi wrote 900 pages on the first 11 chapters in Genesis, which is crazy. That is insane. And then also Zach, I think, did he not read all 900 pages?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he...
Because, he was like, yeah, each page had good stuff on it. I was like, does that mean he read all 900 pages?
And he said each page. So he I wonder how many notes he had from that.
Yeah, so he read 900 pages. How many pages of notes did he get off that?
Dude, I found myself watching back the podcast and just having so many follow-up questions
that you wish you could have asked.
Yeah, I wish I could have asked.
I feel you. And I think it also highlighted how sometimes I feel we treat just spending time in the word as or getting through pieces of the word as that's how you sort of, I don't know what the right word is, but sort of see in your brain how much effort you're putting into it. I got through this book this week,
yeah, I see
or
what you're saying.
This book these 2 weeks. But then you look at some other people and it's they could spend couple months on 3 verses, and it just goes to show that your time spending in the word isn't dictated by how far you get into it. It's more about your own personal quiet time, and just prioritizing that over sort of getting through it and checking that box. And I feel spending that time in it is just encouraging us to just not check that box and really just meditate on the goodness of the word.
Yeah, that's kind of how he was saying about his wife. It's really all about the want. She doesn't want to write 4 pages of notes, but she wants to have a relationship with Christ just as bad as he does. Mm-hmm. So I forgot to introduce.
Yeah, we kind of just jumped into it.
So this is Jack, and What's then up, this is Nico. So Nico, can you give us kind of some background, information about you?
Yep. So my name is Nico Mathew. I am a rising sophomore at Georgia Tech. I went to high school with these goofballs over here, and I'm a year older than them. They're about to go to college, and I just feel through my experiences, I've just have a lot that I'm able to share, because I see a lot of me in them, and just making sure that I sort of, the saying, learn from others' mistakes, so you don't make them yourself. And it's sort of giving advice and guiding them is what I'm trying to do and pride myself in doing. Do you want me to talk about how much more in depth do you want me to go?
I mean, that's good. I just really want to dive in on how your faith kind of changed and what it looks like, at college on a day-to-day basis.
That's good. So the first thing I would want to kind of address before we went into that is, I think looking at how my fate changed is really also highlighting what struggles I faced while in college. And so, like, I would ask both of y'all, like, the question, like, right now, like, what do you think is the biggest struggle in your faith? Like, right now, like, during your senior year of high school, what was the hardest part for you?
I'd say the hardest part for me is just, balancing school, homework, social life, sports, all of that. And something that I've been trying to work on is like making time for God rather than trying to find it later in the day. I think if you really value something, that you'll make time for it. So why not just wake up earlier or stay up later? If it's something you value, then make time for it. Don't just try to find time later. So I think for me, just finding time to be in the Word and talk with God. I mean, it's really hard, but it's been something that I've been trying to work on, because if I really value it, then I'll find a way to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. Just also with consistency.
Oh yeah.
Consistency's been a big thing, just because I know we're all gonna have those ups and downs, but like if you could stay consistent through those ups and downs, then it's way better off. And also just motivation, because again, I'm very busy in this like graduation season, so just finding like the motivation to find that extra time, make that extra time, has been really hard.
That's good. And like I was saying before, like I really see myself in y'all in a lot of ways. And just like that, those are a couple of the biggest things that I struggled with. And so like to answer the question, like how did my fate change? It's almost like the things that I struggled with when I was in high school, they didn't change when I went to college. They just became more prevalent, right? Like I didn't address it while I was in high school. It was more like, oh, when I get to college, I'll deal with that. Even in other aspects of my life, like it's like, oh, like I don't really have that much time to go to the gym, but when I get to college, oh, I'm gonna have like a super consistent workout routine, And it's the same thing, like with the Word. And like for me, just like y'all were saying, like it's like consistency and finding time to be in the Word. And when I was like in that transition point, that summer before college, my biggest thing is like, I'm a overachiever, I'm always like striving for the next accomplishment, whatever. So my life was like really, really busy. And so it was that struggle to be consistent in the Word and finding time to spend in the Word that I didn't necessarily prioritize before I got to college. And so in that way, when I got to college, it just became worse. Life became busier. You have more free time, but there's more stuff to fill that time with, And so it's like just reminding y'all, and I know I'm like supposed to be talking about me specifically, but this is a perfect opportunity to bring up like just addressing your issues as early as possible. Like you acknowledge this is an issue right now. Get into a proper schedule, set aside time, like make time for the Word now, like do that this summer so that when you get to college, it's not that the things that you do good right now are going to stay good in college. Those may still struggle, but it really is the things that you were already struggling with that became more apparent. So like for me, when I got to college, it was just like really hard to just find time for the Word. I'm still trying to like meet new people, do good in my classes. I'm pre-med. I didn't mention this before, but I'm neuroscience pre-med. I'm on the grind on a constant basis, and it's just like, just prioritizing that time. So that's probably, I know that's more of like how my faith stayed the same, but really like, although your faith does change, it's more like how your faith really does stay the way it was beforehand in a way. Like if you're super strong in your faith, that's not just going to go away in college, right? Like if you're going to struggle with things for sure, but if you're good at actively combating when the devil's trying to attack you, you're going to be good in college as well. So it's more like focusing on the things that you're currently struggling with.
Yeah, so I would say, like Jack might be able to add on to this, but like for me, I'm worried that if I'm struggling with, the consistency and the finding time now, when I have all these amazing influences around me, what about when I go off to college and those influences are no longer there?
Yeah, I would like you're right. I was gonna add, like, I really liked where you said you may have more free time, but you have more things to fill them with. So who's to say when you get more free time, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, oh, well, now I can finally fill it all with God. You know what I mean? I mean, at college there's hundreds and thousands of distractions. So I mean, who am I to say that I'm just gonna fill it with God? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna have more free time, I feel like, but it's gonna be all up to me to structure my time to hit the gym, work, and also get in the Word and
Yeah.
socialize and whatnot.
Exactly. And what Eli was saying, like, that brings up a really good point that I definitely want to target. And you mentioned like specifically like your community in college, like when you're not around the people you're around now, when you don't have this beautiful face over here and right next to you all the time, like how are you going to make sure that you prioritize the Word? And the thing I would say to that is literally when you go to college as a Christian, like the most important thing for you, honestly, even if you're not a Christian, like the most important thing for any individual in college, I genuinely feel like is to find a community, right? Is to find people who align with your worldview, align with your interests, align with what you're trying to accomplish, right? And so what I mean by that is like when you get to college, there's going to be a bunch of Christian organizations. They're going to have lots of events to try and get the freshmen in and convince them to join. Go to all of them. Find out which people you like the most, which ones talking to them like, hey, like these are genuinely good people. Like I could see them challenging me helping me grow in my faith. And just like making sure that you prioritize that community aspect, because what you were saying, that's a really honest like question. Like, how are you going to make sure that you're prioritizing the Word when you're around people who aren't maybe as religious as you have here? And while that is genuinely true, and there is a chance that, you're going to SCAD, right? Wait, I didn't know if I could say that, but is this is this like top secret or something?
No, it's not.
All right, he's committing on the podcast to SCAD to play lacrosse. He's him.
He committed a long time ago.
Right. I committed like last year.
All right. I've been out of the loop. It's all right. But yeah, there is a chance that you may struggle more than Jack to say find a Christian community, right? But they're there. There are people there. The biggest thing I tell people is like, like if you're worried about finding a community at a school or like people who you like and who are like you, if you're going to that school, there's other people like you going to that school. And that's what you need to remember is like you are able to find those people if you actively seek them out and look.
Dude, what I really enjoyed, because I kind of asked Zach Morgan the same question, and he was like, don't only find like a BCM, but also go to a local church that is like small. That way you have older people pouring into you. Like my community doesn't have to be 20-year-olds. It can be 30, 40-year-olds pouring into me.
I was actually just about to say that my pastor at Mansfield, Neil, he was challenging like us upcoming seniors and moving into college. He was like, don't replace the local church with a BCM. While like the BCM is one of the greatest resources that you have in college, and like, you can worship and whatnot with people your age, like you can't replace the local church. That's like the local body of believers, that the elders to like challenge you and to look up to and to pour into you. It's really important. And also like what you were saying is he was saying, your college career and kind of who you become is almost determined within the first week or two of you being on a college campus. Like who you surround yourself with, social events you get plugged into, classes you take. I mean, it's so vital in that first week or two to like getting plugged into a local church and BCM and whatnot.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that we all brought up a good point. Definitely get plugged into a church. Use BCM or any other Christian organization you may find as like an accessory more than like your main
focus. It's a great resource.
It's a great resource, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like make sure you have a place on Sunday where you're attending, and there's a good chance that the people who you're going to BCM with may be attending a church, right? And then you can go with them, and then therefore you're able to have those BCM people with you, and also able to get poured into by those older people, and I think that's super great.
Yeah. So, going off to college, how, like, I'm talking not necessarily how your face changed, but, like, what changed about, like, because I remember, I don't even know who I was talking to this with, but he was like, you're never going to have, like, time by yourself in college. You're always going to be surrounded by, people your age or just, like, your friends, anybody like that. So like, what ways have you, kind of prioritized your like quiet time?
Yeah, that's really good. So this to answer this, it's kind of like branching off of the community thing we were talking about before. When I got to college, I really wanted to get plugged into a community, and I've talked to Jack about this numerous times. But I joined a Christian fraternity. It's called Theta Xi, and it's the Christian fraternity on Georgia Tech's campus. And it's just a bunch of like really cool guys who are like all trying to chase Jesus together. And first off, leading off of what we were talking about before, these guys, while I'm in college, like there are millions of distractions all around you. There's women and alcohol and drugs and everything you could ever imagine all around you. And it's like, there are guys who like are here to hold you accountable. They're guys here to make sure you're going in the right direction. There's guys that are just making sure that you're staying strong in your faith. And again, I just kind of got reminded of this, but like the stuff I was mentioning, I don't know, in the beginning of this, I mentioned how the things you're struggling with before transfer over. And that's not just with your faith, right? Like that's things like if you are someone who, struggles with drinking alcohol now, when you go to college, it's just going to get worse,
Yeah,
right?
it's just amplified.
It's just amplified. Exactly. College just amplifies what you what you already know about, like what is already true about yourself. So if you are a super duper strong Christ follower and you are genuinely seeking him out with every step, everything you do in your life is chasing after him, is that going to maybe get a little shaky in college? For sure. But that part of you is going to stay with you, especially in that first year. That's not just going to disappear completely, and obviously over time it may, which is why that's when the community aspect comes into play. But it's not just going to like go away. Like who you are stays, right? Who God says you are, that stays. If you truly believe that, that stays. So how I found quiet time was being in a part of a community like that. First, we were assigned D groups, which were like devotional groups. And basically an older brother, a third or fourth year brother, was the head over 3 to 4 freshman guys. And we would have Bible studies together, and we would like go through a book of a Bible and talk about it and discuss. And then we would have worship nights together. So in that way, like the community aspect that's there. And then like during our meetings and stuff, we would have times where we could like go and just be by ourselves kind of thing. And so I feel like I kind of made that in a confusing way, but like your community still helps your quiet time, if that makes sense. Like if you are with a bunch of guys who all prioritize wanting quiet time, right? That quiet time is going to happen, right? Y'all may set aside a time together. Hey, we're all going to go our own separate ways, and this is the time we're going to spend in the Word together. And also, on top of that, even if outside of the community aspect, which I truly believe is one of the most important parts of college, as I said before, is just like when you get up in the morning or when you're about to go to sleep, that's the easiest time to spend time with the Word. Early in the morning, nobody's really out. Great time. Go explore your campus, find a spot. I loved going on walks around my campus, my headphones on, and literally like something I've learned in college is your quiet time with the Lord doesn't necessarily have to be in the Bible. Like that is absolutely crucial and important. That should absolutely be a part of your faith. But your quiet time in the Lord can just be conversations with a friend, right? Like Jesus is our friend. He's here to talk to us. He's here. So like what I would do is like 3 days a week I would be in the Word, and then the other 2 days I'd go for a walk in the morning and like just talk to God, like tell him about what's going on in my life. I know he already knows that, but just having someone to talk to is just like, that's how you prioritize it. Is like you get to a point where like, this is kind of what Zach Morgan was saying in the previous episode, but it's like, it becomes to a point where it's not like you're having to put in more effort to do it. Like you want to do this. You get to a point where you want to do this. I enjoyed those walks. It was beautiful outside. I got to see the pretty campus of Georgia Tech. I got to, talk to my Lord and Savior. Like it's great. It was wonderful. So that's probably like the best way I would spend quiet time. How would y'all say like you spend quiet time right now that like maybe could or could not transfer over to college?
What I do, well, what I'm trying to do is kind of like what Jack mentioned. Is I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'll usually read or just kind of like study the Bible for about an hour, or at least I try to do about an hour, and then I'll get ready for school and go to school. But after last episode, I've kind of like I want to kind of restructure it, because I do think that you need to emphasize prayer or worship more than like I would rather read than study. But just having days where you don't necessarily have to read the Bible, but you're still invested into other things.
Yeah, for me, it's similar to Eli's as far as I right now I'm attempting to wake up early and get in the Word and whatnot. However, one of the biggest struggles I run into is like, well, let's say I wake up late. You know what I mean? So I think for me, it's either like I'm kind of like at this point where I'm like, I either need to like figure out how to wake up like early every single time, or just be open to the fact that like kind of what you were saying, like I'll wake up early on these days, or let's say I don't wake up early, then that's okay, because there's different ways that I can worship and spend time with God. So just being open to like different things and trying to figure out like my structure right now is still kind of what I'm working through. But right now, like it's definitely waking up early, getting in the Word and whatnot.
Well, before you go, that's kind of how I
I'm
am.
not going anywhere.
Like, like I struggle a lot, especially like during the school year, of waking up early.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because, like, I'm just so tired, I guess, or like
There's a lot of variables.
I'll just come up with this excuse or something like that, and then whenever I do wake up, it's usually later, and then I feel like I won't have enough time to like truly dive into the Word as like how I should be. So then I just don't, and then later on in the day, I never find that time where I need to.
Yeah, and I think that's valid. That's definitely like I understand that reasoning for sure. But again, like we were talking about before, if that's a struggle now, oh my gosh. And that was a struggle for me too. It gets so much worse in college.
Yeah, like waking up.
Like you're going on side quests with your friends one night. I don't know, you're going to be in the mountains. You go climb a mountain one night randomly.
Stay up late.
Get 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
you go to sleep. Okay, I don't know if you're spending time in the Word the next morning after that if you have class at 8 a.m.,
Yeah.
And so it's like just figuring out now how to deal with that will really help you in the future. And on top of that, I forgot what I was going to say. You were like talking about, what were you saying? You were saying something.
Like how, finding that just struggle to wake up.
Oh, yeah. So one thing I would also say, though, is something that I personally struggled with a lot. And again, I'm saying all this as someone who's still struggling with this. In college, like I'm talking about my schedule. That probably happened like 2 weeks out of the month. Like I'm over here, like I probably missed a couple days, like on a regular basis. But like something that I really struggled with a lot is like, oh my gosh, like I really like I'm too tired to do this right now. But then I'll stay up for 30 minutes scrolling on TikTok, Or it's like how can I say, if I truly believe that Jesus loves me so much and that he is truly the creator of the world and he gives me my purpose to live in this earth, right? He gives me my purpose. Then why am I not able to put down TikTok or Instagram or anything and spend that time in the Word? And genuinely, that's an issue that I didn't deal with in the summer, and it just gets worse in college. It just gets worse. And that's just it. Because, I'm over here scrolling in Instagram, you're going to meet 5 million new people. I see 5 million more posts every day. So
yeah, exactly.
It's like there's a lot more to see on Instagram and stuff. And like what I started to do is I got this app that basically turns off Instagram and TikTok after 8 p.m. Like I cannot bypass it. I can't get through it. It's called like Screen Zen or something like that.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah. And it's like it's really helped me to like okay, I'm by myself in my dorm. It's 8:30, 9 p.m. I can't go on Instagram. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I end up going on YouTube, but
So that's what I've been doing is like finding that screen time like element and like blocking it, and it'll be going really well for about 2 weeks, and then I'll find myself like bypassing it more and more and more, and then next thing I know, like it's just as bad. I just have to open it and then click the button again. Like it's just another thing I'm bypassing. So kind of just finding that discipline of, you know, sticking and staying off my phone and truly just allowing myself in that free time to read.
Yeah, that's
It's good.
I kind of want to like talk more about like the community aspect, because like I feel like that is like, okay, so first off, when y'all are like looking into what you see your freshman year, like what are the things that you're most nervous about when you go?
Nervous.
Like what are you like? Like, for example, for me, it was, you know, Georgia Tech has a lot of very smart individuals, but a lot of them are, you know, I need more social people, you know?
Yeah,
So I
I
was
feel
like really like worried about, oh, I need to find my community, like all this stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, and I feel like Eli, you'll be able to relate to this. It's like there's a lot of good people or attractive people or people that may find interest with, but like on a deeper level, if they want to pursue like the Lord and their faith as much as I do. So like it's not just like a facade. It's like truly like a solid group of people that seek my best interest and then seek the best interest of my faith, and that we can grow in that together. You feel me?
Yeah, that's really how I am, but I'm also how you were, because, you know, SCAD also has interesting group of people. So finding not only
It's
friends,
nice,
which
man.
I'll have my whole lacrosse team, which will be really nice, but just
They're
finding,
probably odd too. I'm sorry.
well,
No, I'm kidding. All right.
so but finding people who not only say they're Christian but truly live it out in a way that we do.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
Yeah, yeah,
convey.
And with that, that's both of y'all super valid worries. Like that's something I thought about on a regular basis. And the best advice that I always give everyone when they go to college is those first 4 weeks of college. What you were saying before is true. Like your
Yeah.
college experience can really be dictated by your first month in college,
Yeah, for
really.
sure.
So what you need to do when your first month of college, literally every single class, every single event you go to, everything, talk to those people around you, introduce yourself. It's going to feel really weird at first, but be like literally you're sitting in class next to someone you don't know. Say, hey, I'm Eli. What's your name? Hey, I'm Jack. What's your name? And then y'all start talking, and then y'all end up sitting together future days, stuff like that. And that person may not reach out to you, but you can reach out to them, right? And you can talk to them. And through that, right, this person may not be the most Christian person ever, but your community in your life does not just need to be these super Christian people, right? Like you need to have people there who are not as spiritually sound as you are. You do, on the same hand, you need people who are pouring into you on a regular basis, but that gives you an opportunity to pour into other people as well as be poured into. And so don't shun people away just because, you know, they're not super religious or whatever. This is an opportunity for you to put your faith into works, to show the love of Christ, and for you to realize that like you're able to, like, through God's power in you, you're able to make a difference. You could really make a difference in someone else's life that, you know, that difference may have already been made in someone else's life who you may feel like, oh, I'm more similar to. But don't like completely, that's something I learned because, you know, we're going to be in similar positions. Like just even pouring into people who I may not necessarily like, you know, be, I don't know, like affinity towards.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And like, yeah, just kind of clarifying what I was saying earlier, like it's not so much a like comparison game as far as like, oh, I mean, they're not like this or that, because I mean, I fall short 1,000 different ways each day. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, who am I? Who am I to judge? You know what I mean? So, and also I find some of like the greatest joy, and it like pushes me further in my faith whenever I'm like pouring into others. I like truly do. Like just as much as I get from people pouring into me, I definitely get that from like leading other people and like talking to them and pouring into them.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a podcast this morning, and so the guy, he's a Christian, and he was talking about his cameraman who, like, when meeting, he wasn't a Christian at all, but like he formed this relationship with him, and through that they've had many, you know, conversations about, you know, God and Christ, and through this relationship he's actually like gained a lot of knowledge in Christ, and, you know, has questions about it. And so through that relationship he can go to, you know, this person, and he can ask those questions. And it's kind of the same way with us. Like, we don't need, because also it's a whole different like view on the world. So if you have these Christian friends, he can tell you like, yo, you kind of look like stuck up, or you sound like you're better than them and things like that. And he can humble you, just say like, hey, like you would connect better with me if you did it like this.
It's so important to like have your faith challenged in that way. Like,
Yeah, that's real.
You're going to be dropped into the real world as soon as you graduate college, and you're going to meet hundreds of thousands of people who do not share the same beliefs as you, and you need to have the ability to be able to talk to people who don't have those who have those differing beliefs, and be able to see like, where are we differing, where are we similar, like why do you believe what you believe, and you can understand a person. And so like what I was saying before, really like your most important thing that first month of college, like please like go. And even the smallest thing, right? Like I'm walking down the street of my college, and I have like 5 people I'll say what's up to, because I met them on the first day of class. I never talked to them again, for real. But it's like, it's nice having those people, and a hi and a smile could really make someone's day. So just put yourself aside, be like, what's the worst that could happen? Really, all of you are in the same position. You don't know anybody. No one there knows anybody, right? Like everyone's trying to make friends. Everyone has the same worries as everyone else, right? Like you need to put yourself in a position where you're that person facilitating, like, because that's the way to truly, one, have amazing outreach and be able to truly show the love of Christ, and 2, meet people who are at that same point as you in faith, or even ahead of you in their faith, to help continue to grow your faith. And I remember reading this online, but it was like, love can't be shown without community, right? Like you can spend as much time as you want alone, and you can build up like a lot of love. Like, oh my gosh, like I was praying for this podcast yesterday, and I have so much love for Jack and Eli, like a lot. But like, if I never come into contact with y'all, how am I supposed to show y'all the love that Jesus has helped me to be able to grow inside of myself, right? Like community is so important. And if there's anything that should be taken away from today, it's that you need to prioritize your community in college. And again, not just your Christian community, which is your first priority, but also community of guys and girls who are not, there with their faith, and being able to help them grow, because in the end, that is our mission on earth, right? Like we're supposed to like spread the good news. We're supposed to know Christ and make him known. That's like our duty here. And that's the best way to do it, because we're able to grow in our faith, therefore knowing Christ, and then make him known to other people. And I think that's just like super great thing.
Yeah, I try to do that actually a lot at Elka, is, because I have my inner circle, but then I try to expand that circle through friends that I am really close with, but they're not necessarily like my first, people to come in contact with. And I try to just pour into them and show them that, like, because they know what Christianity is. It's a Christian school. But I try to show them what, like, true Christianity looks like, not, like, the religion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with what y'all are saying, because I feel like when we go to college, not only is that one of the greatest opportunities for us to grow and for us to find, like, believers to grow with, it's also one of, like, our greatest opportunities in our entire life. I mean, you're constantly surrounded by thousands, tens, or hundreds of thousands of kids every single day that you can pour into and evangelize 100%. Every single day. And I think what was so important, what we were trying to say earlier, is like as a Christian, it's so important not to like display the love of Christ correctly, in the correct posture, and not be stuck up and whatnot. Because I think one of the biggest like weapons that Satan might even use is like other Christians displaying the love of God incorrectly. You feel me? You may deter other people and non-believers away from Christ, and that's never what you want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that, dude, I be in fire things in my head, and then it's like
you
away.
can't like get it out. That's so real.
All right, man, that would have made this podcast go viral, but it's
Dang, bro, you could have posted this clip. I
swear. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about displaying the love of like God correctly.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
It's literally always, I don't know why that went out of my head, but yeah, that's going off of that. That's so true. And it's just like making it that effort to hold yourself to a higher standard, because evangelizing and spreading the love of Christ is not just, hey, like Jesus loves you. Hey, like you know, Jesus died for your sins. You need to repent, like all this stuff. Oh, and all that stuff is 100% true. But it's also, hey, like you're in a basketball game and, you know, someone falls to the ground and you help them up. Or you don't start cussing at people when they get mad at you for accidentally fouling them or something like that. Like in every aspect of your life, you're able to display the love of Christ and who Christ is, the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah, that's actually, I was about to bring that up. Just like bearing fruit in your life.
Exactly.
You don't always have to be walking around being like, hey, Jesus died for you, man. You can just be like, hey, what's up? Like, I love you, bro. It's nice to see you. Put a smile on your face.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just bearing fruit in your life is a testimony to God's greatness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with that.
Dude, that's like so important because I feel like if I wasn't a Christian, I would want people to do that to me in my life, because I don't really care if Jesus died for me if I don't know the meaning behind it, or that's just another person who's died, you know. But if you know that like Jesus loves you and he cares about you and why he loves you and why he does the things he does, and to see like people act that out, that's what's gonna actually like convert me, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And what I would say to that is that on top of that, leading off of that, is that a lot of people in college like don't know who they are. Like we know who we are, right? Because we
find our identity in God. But so I feel like a lot of people are, trying to find themselves.
That's what college is for a lot of people. Is like, hey, I'm trying to find myself. Like, what is my purpose here? What am I supposed to do?
Like, who am I?
Exactly. And so what that also means is that a lot of people are open to hearing about it. You know, they may at first shun it away, but it's like, hey, like if you're showing like, it's like if you get into a deep conversation with a friend you made there, like it's a great opportunity to bring that up, and like they may end up looking into it. Invite them to church on Sunday, right? Like a lot of people aren't doing stuff Sunday morning unless they're Christian, right? Or go to church. But that's an opportunity to continue to pour into them. And it's so just like, I think that's like super important too.
Dude, that's what I'm so excited for about SCAD, is because at Elka, everybody's heard about Christianity and they know what it is and they choose to reject it.
Yeah.
But at SCAD, like I feel like most people, they really haven't heard what Christianity truly is. 100%. And so if I'm able to share it with them and show them that like it actually is pretty cool, that like maybe they will, become more interested in it and just be open to it.
Yeah, I think what you were saying, like I feel like what not only like do I see other people struggle with at Elka, but even I can relate to is like being at Elka my whole life is turning a deaf ear to like to chapel, to Bible class, you know what I mean? And I think it's really hard to like kind of reach those people, or like even myself, like be, open to hearing the word every single day be poured to me at like, for me, Bible class is first period. So first thing, which is like, it's great, right? Like that's a great resource, but it can also get mundane and like you almost start to turn a deaf ear to it. And I think that's so important is, the Bible, you can't like become like trying to find the word for it, but you can't turn a deaf ear to it essentially because you've heard it so much.
Dude, that's how I have been. Like I didn't realize how much I took Elka for granted until like
you're graduating.
Until I understood like what SCAD doesn't have. And that's so crazy. And that's what I've been trying to tell like the underclassmen, like do not take advantage of not only the community at Elka, but just like being able to be around Christianity and not being judged for it.
Yeah. I was gonna say like it's not just the classes, it's not just the chapel, it's the teachers and the friends. Like I feel like the teachers at Elka, like, yeah, sure, they give you a demerit for this, for that. Like you're like, God, this is kind of annoying, but genuinely, like these people are super wise, and they are like what I find from Elka as opposed to like other schools or whatnot. Like these teachers genuinely like have my best interest in mind for the most part. I mean, sometimes it's whatever, but like genuinely, like they do want to see me like grow not only in my knowledge and like education, but also like in my faith. And I think I would just urge anybody like just don't like take advantage of that. Don't overlook that, and don't, you know what I mean.
100%.
Yeah, dude. During that interview from Mr. Fields, our Bible teacher.
Do you know I never did that?
Really?
Yeah, so I had like area for golf. I never got to do it.
And I was actually
did you just get a 0 for it?
I don't know. I actually just checked the grade book yesterday, and I don't know. He hasn't given it to me.
A 0.
Yeah, I know, but to be fair, mine was a school event. Anyways, carry on.
Okay, so I was actually like, so he sat me down, and I was like, kind of looking forward to it because I wanted to hear what he had to say, and like I wanted to answer. and like the way he was pouring into me, like he was telling me things.
Oh my
Energy
gosh,
drinks
dude.
are from the devil.
All right, Eli, you can carry
Yo,
on.
hey, this is valid.
Don't
Energy drinks have like acid in it.
Guys,
You're gonna
guys.
end short
Back
your
on
life.
die all the
topic.
time
Back on
from it.
topic.
All right.
Back on
I'm sorry,
topic.
Anyways,
sorry.
sorry, we just had to bring that up. Dude, like he was bringing things to like think about it. He has 80 students to like think these things about. But like for me, he was bringing things up that were personal and like related to me, and the way he was doing it, you could
Shout
tell
out Mr. Fields, man.
He really like loved me and poured out to me, and it was just so crazy.
Something else I would add to that is like use what you've learned and what you've appreciated from like this time in high school to really be bold in college. Like don't be afraid to like be different than a lot of the people you may be around, right? Like me and a couple friends on campus, we started this CMDA organization at Georgia Tech.
What is that?
It's
what is that?
Christian Medical and Dental Association.
Heck
Because
yeah.
one, there's not like a lot. First off, there's not a lot of pre-meds at Tech in general. Come on, it's Georgia Tech. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's a
hard.
bunch of engineer and CS geeks who don't shower. But
Tech on tech crime, dude.
Hey, that's Kevin you're talking about.
hey, I love you, Kev.
I love you, Kevin.
Uh,
You lost your train of thought, yeah.
no, but like, first off, there's not a lot of pre-meds, and there's not like that many. Like the BCM at Georgia Tech, compare that to UGA's BCM.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot smaller.
It's a lot different.
And so combining those, it's like a really niche group. And so like posting on social media about it and stuff like that, it's just like being bold with it. Like me running this organization is me telling everybody that I'm a Christian, right? That's me letting everybody know that I love Jesus, right? And so put yourself in positions that one, make you uncomfortable and force you to be bold, but two, will cause you to grow, right? Like cause you like whenever we're planning on putting up like a table during the club event, right? For like the medical clubs.
Yeah.
And we're going to be the only Christian club there, right? So that's an opportunity for us to like show other people.
Yeah. You stand out, but
Exactly.
also like who you are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And like we were talking about before, remember when you stand out, you also are holding yourself to a higher standard. It's really easy for you to deter people from the faith because, you know, you may be doing some not so biblical things, you know?
Yes, but what was I gonna say? Oh, at SCAD, like I still can't remember it.
All right. Well, while you're trying to figure that out, I wanted to add because I think this ties in really well to like what we were talking about. And Eli called you about this the other day.
Oh,
but yes, so what we were just talking about, like simply bearing the fruit or just living out your daily life and you know whatnot, you can display the love of Christ just in your everyday walk. So it was the day you posted the Eli Perspective podcast. Day of. I hadn't gotten a chance to listen to it. And I was going to work out. So I finally had a chance to listen to it. And I was listening to it, just working out. And I was hitting my set. And this guy walks in and and then I go to get water. And he walks up to me while I was getting water. And he's like, hey, man, I just want to let you know, like, I mean, I've been really like tested and tried today. But dude, and I drug myself to the gym. But just seeing your shirt, man, because I was wearing a shirt. I should probably say this. That said, like, God's got this, and then it had, like, a verse under it. So he was like, man, just seeing your shirt, like, I got chills. Like, I could just, like, see, like, God working and whatnot. And so then, you know, through him telling me, like, hey, I've been tested and tried today, I was like, well, is there any way I could pray for you? And I think he was just so appreciative. He was like, man, like, I don't ever really get people asking me to, like, pray for me. And so he was super, super appreciative of that. And so I got to pray with him. And then I even got to, like, talk to him later, and he shared his testimony with me. And it was super powerful. I'm not going to like get into all the details, but he was a drug addict in like 2019. And like one night, like I got like God moved in him where I don't really know all the details to it, but he woke up the next morning. I mean, God changed his life completely. Like, he hasn't had an like urge to do a drug since. Like
That's
it's
awesome.
crazy. And so he actually feels like called to ministry and whatnot. So that's just like a little relationship, a little conversation, a little bit like that I can have an impact on this man's life simply from wearing my shirt and then being obedient to follow and like pray for him and talk to him and whatnot. So that's just like an example. I think that ties in really well. Like let's say we're wearing a shirt that has anything faith or God related in college, I feel like that can even be powerful. Like people may see that and that does something, or you talk to them and that leads like a entry point to like a conversation. So just being open to like, and just bearing fruit in your day-to-day walk is like, I think that's really powerful.
Definitely. I totally agree.
I don't really remember what I was gonna say, but I have another thing.
A new thing.
All right, never mind.
Hey, words are hard. It's okay.
Do you remember?
No, I have no clue.
You have no idea. Oh,
No idea.
2 things in a row. Shoot, I'm rubbing off over here. Okay.
I just thought it was cool. Like I was sharing that because, dude, I called
That's
Eli
so
right
cool.
after I left because I was listening to this podcast, like, and I was like, this is crazy.
That's so.
And so it was like
crazy.
literally I was listening to this podcast, wearing the shirt, and then I got to like have this opportunity to, evangelize and share the word with this guy. And
Yeah,
also
100%.
turns out, I mean, he is actually looking to pursue like a career in the faith. But I mean, it was just a really, really cool thing. I called Eli as soon as I was leaving the gym. It was really cool.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Heck yeah.
It's like kind of off topic, but like it's something that I really have been interested in. Like I guess over like these kind of 2 years, is like I'm really interested in people's stories. Like
Yeah.
because like I always see those TikToks where it's like, hey, like what's your story, and then it's always something like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I always just want to go up to people and just kind of ask like, hey, like what is your story? Like tell me about it.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
I think sometimes we judge people just solely based off maybe how they look or how they act, but
we don't know
you,
who they are.
you have to
right?
understand that each individual goes through unique experiences that
100%.
shapes who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like super powerful. So they may be more sensitive to this or that, but I just think that's so cool. Like I've been like even like studying psychology and like
Yeah.
being AP Psych and whatnot. Like it's just cool to see like how different like things of while you're growing up or different experiences, like different human
Yeah.
experiences that we all go through, and they're different and they're unique. They
100%.
shape that individual and that person's character, and I think that's really cool.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And I think it's also important to like kind of analyze like who is this person and like try to figure out like this matters to them. This is like a entry point that I could talk to them about. Like whenever you're sharing the faith, you don't just keep it surface level. Don't just be like, hey, Jesus died for you, loves you. Man, like make it like personal. Be like, try to like incorporate it to their testimony and who they are, and it might resonate deeper with them. You know what I mean?
100%. Do you all have any like questions that you would ask a kid who just finished his freshman year of college? Is there anything y'all could think of? And if nothing, that's fine. I mean, y'all are gonna.
Dude,
be
I feel like
pros.
we hit all the questions while we were talking. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten so
Yeah.
much clarity from
Dude,
this conversation.
I have some in my notebook, but it's all the way upstairs.
I was wondering why you didn't have your notebook. I was like, you have the questions on your notebook, but I really do like appreciate this conversation. I feel like I got a lot more clarity, and even like what I've learned is like speaking about things. Like I gained so much clarity from it, so it's just really interesting.
That's why I've been looking like for this podcast. Like I was even praying like this morning. I was like, honestly, like even if this podcast gets 2 views and it's me and y'all,
Yeah.
like still like this conversation, I'm so glad that I'm having it because it'll impact me at least. Even if it impacts
Yeah.
nobody else, at
That's
least
true.
Like us 3 are getting impacted by this.
100%.
No matter what, like I feel like this is a conversation that I would have had with or without the mics in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's really powerful. And I hope that somebody listens to it and gains something from it. But if they don't, then I gain something from it.
And this applies to college in like more ways than you know, right? Like we are supposed to form these relationships to grow ourselves, but also to help grow other people, right? We're supposed to meet other people in college and have these hard conversations, have
Yeah.
these topics like we have debates constantly. Like it's super great debates like about different topics, and it's like genuinely like there's great things that can happen through discussion and discussing this stuff. It's just like I really appreciate y'all because
Yeah.
it's like not only I know I'm supposed to be like this person who is has the knowledge from a year of college, but like I've also like learned a lot from talking to y'all too, because it's like y'all have provided a lot of perspective to me as well that I can take into my second year of college as well.
Yeah. That's so real.
Dude. So whenever I was like starting this, I was planning it all out, and I didn't know if I wanted to kind of do it with somebody or like just do it alone and have everybody on. So I was talking to Caden, and we were like going to like kind of do something together, and I was like, you know what? let's not. Let me do it, and then can we have, a conversation maybe like every month or every week, something like that, where like we just set aside an hour and we go sit down and we actually like we have to talk about something spiritual. That way we grow and we build. We haven't done it, but I'm sure
It's
we
the
will
thought
at
that
some
counts,
point.
man. No, like what you are saying though, like what I find is having like the hard conversations that actually hold value. Like I gained so much more from that. Like, and what I've kind of like learned throughout high school, this has been a big takeaway. Not like even just talking this out. Like this has been a big takeaway from my high school. Like it's like the different friendships and relationships I have. Like they're all great, but the ones that like will last and the ones that I've gained the most from and like I hope that I've impacted people from the most is like the ones where I've had meaningful, deep,
Absolutely.
like valuable
That's so
conversations. And I think it's just important to like not leave all your friendships at surface level. Some friends there, like a lot of your friends there, that's completely okay.
Mhm.
But I think it's so important to go like deeper.
Especially when you
with-
get to college.
Yeah, exactly.
Really important.
Yeah.
And all the stuff we're saying, it's all really, really good to talk about. But like y'all need to make sure you're like actively trying to implement this inside of
Yeah,
your life.
I was gonna
like,
say that too. Like this is all like it all sounds so good, but like it's so important to actually
wonderful.
put it into action. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like action. Like put it in. Like I'm talking about you're struggling getting in the word, and low key I've been slacking too. But we're getting back into it. Like
Yeah.
I started like a couple days ago getting back into it. Like you realize you're struggling with something, attack it now. Attack it early. You're gonna keep saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do it later."
Yeah. Yeah,
Use
for
what
sure.
we've talked about today to like make yourself closer to Jesus. Allow Jesus to truly make change in your life and other people's lives.
It's been so crazy. My bad, Eli. It's
No,
been
no,
so
no.
crazy. Like as we've been like going like deeper like into this podcast. Like at first, I felt like I was talking in front of an audience, and now I just feel
Yeah.
like I'm just having a conversation with like you guys. And I
I
think
feel
that's,
like this is a conversation we would have anyway.
we would, yeah,
right?
we would, like,
definitely
we would
just
for sure have this conversation. If we didn't do this, then we would do it at basketball later.
Exactly.
Like you know what I mean?
That's so real. This is super random, but for some reason, like it just came in my mind to ask. So, what are you reading, and what is one takeaway from like both of y'all from reading, like whatever you're reading?
Okay, so currently, so first off, I'm doing Bible in a year kind of thing.
Really?
So,
Dude, I want to do that. So that's so cool.
I do too.
all right, but
I don't know if I got
It's-
what it takes to do that,
Me
dude.
neither.
But I will eventually.
all right, low key. Hey, part of the story is like during finals week, I kind of was really.
You slacked off, but it's
slacking.
okay.
Hey, I'm 20 days behind.
Yo.
Chat. I'm not doing good.
Okay, but here's the thing: is nonetheless, whenever you do finish it, no matter if you're 40 days behind, you will have read the whole
Okay,
Bible, and I
that's
think
true.
that's super.
But also,
Like,
like, it's
that's
not
super
like you
cool.
started at like a specific point, and like it'd be different if you started like January 1st.
I started January 1st.
Okay, but
Okay.
my thing is like, I mean, like, okay, here's my thing though. Like another point is like, I don't know why like our culture puts such an emphasis on starting at a certain time. Like, why not just do it? You know what I
it's so
mean?
Yeah,
valid.
but like January 1st, like
I know.
New
Hey,
year, new
you know,
me.
hey, hey, it would have been cool, but
No, I
nonetheless,
did the
you're gonna
same
get
thing, but then like I got to like Genesis 11, and it was like January 7th, and I was still like 30 chapters behind, and I was like, never mind, bro.
But what I am, something I read a lot, because it's my favorite book in the Bible, is Philippians.
it. Really, that's
And
cool.
I probably read that book once a month.
That's so
because
cool.
It is just so good. Like we see all the time online. Like Philippians is the happiest book in the Bible, but it was written in jail.
Yeah,
right? In
I think
prison.
that's so like
It's
powerful.
insane. And what I'm learning is that like your circumstances don't define the joy that Christ has given you inside, right? Like
Yeah.
you can have so many different like running things going on in your life. Look, there's a chance you go to college and your friend group is 5 furries, 1 iPad kid. You may go to college and you don't have any friends. I hope that doesn't happen to either of y'all. But there is a reality where, like, you know, things don't go out according to our plan, and it's just like your circumstances don't dictate who God calls you to be and who God says you are and how you're supposed to continue to feel and live your life. And
That's
I think
crazy,
great.
like that you just said that what you were just saying, because like I wrote in my Bible this morning, it was trusting God's justice despite your present circumstances, because in this particular like I'm going through Psalms, so like David was like talking about the justice of God and whatnot, but I just thought that was crazy that you like were talking about this, and that's why I opened my Bible. I was like, dang, I know I wrote that junk like this morning. Yeah, so that was really cool. But what I'm gaining from it is just like the way that like David like adores like the Lord is like so like moving, and like it challenges me. But I don't know. It's really cool. I'm trying to, and the reason that I'm studying, like I'm reading it right now. Like me and Eli talked about this is genuinely because I had no clue what I should read, and I just felt like it was like it's really good though. It really is. Like I feel like each section. Philippians, yeah. I'll hit that next.
You'll love it.
Yeah,
and it's short.
I got I got like 100 something chapters to go. But hey,
next year.
Next year I got you though.
What about you?
So for me, it's kind of like
Romans.
random. I actually it was whenever I was like.
Wait, you're reading Song of Solomon?
No.
What?
Wait, what? You're
Wait, no, he said it's kind of
Holly?
random.
What?
Wait, what are you talking about?
How did you get this?
He didn't. He's not reading Song of Solomon.
Okay, so
Oh wait, you were making a joke. Okay, I get it now. I get it now.
It did not hit. It did not hit.
That was a good one.
That was a good joke.
No, that was good.
That was a good joke.
You know,
wasn't a
like
good joke.
from hindsight, it was a good joke. I'm laughing now. Ha. All right, Carrie.
Okay, so I'm reading Romans, and I actually like discovered this yesterday. So as I was going back.
Sorry for the intermission, please.
As I was going back and wondering like why Paul wrote the book of Romans, right? Because like I kind of went through it at the very beginning, and it was just he had like it was like 30 days or something in between like his time from going to like Rome, but it was actually he was going and he was about to deliver a gift to Jerusalem. And it was from the Gentile like churches, and like so they were still like kind of hashing out like Gentile and Jews churches, because all the Jews had been kicked out of Jerusalem by this emperor, right? And so basically they had all came back, and they were getting really mad at the Gentiles because they seemed like their culture was going away. So they were having church, but they weren't doing communion and things of these sorts. And so they were very mad, but Paul collected all this like money and like I'm guessing like things to from the Gentiles to give to the Jews, like the poor Jews that needed it. And he didn't know how the Jews were going to receive it. He didn't know if he was going to be killed or not. But what I saw was like the Gentiles, they wanted to make peace with the Jews, and they were willing to give like their riches to these Jews and they just wanted to make peace. But the Jews they seemed like they didn't want their culture to be forgotten. And so they were mad at the Gentiles because they were kind of like not taking over, but they were doing things differently.
Yeah.
That's good.
Anybody have a time check?
It is 6:11.
When I'm saying how long we've been doing it.
Oh, we've been doing this for 1 hour and 1 minute.
Oh, gosh.
Do y'all have other stuff to add, or?
Nah.
No,
I mean,
don't.
we can keep going if we want.
I'm open. I'm down for whatever. But
I'm down.
nonetheless, I gained a lot of clarification. I don't really have anything else to say.
I don't have anything to add. But hey, we're down to just listen to you talk if you want.
Yeah,
to.
honestly, you can give me a
No,
sermon
you
if
can,
you want.
preach to us.
No,
Like,
I don't
let's
want
go.
to. We can talk about Jack's
Reverend.
energy drinks.
Energy?
Energy
No, bro.
drinks.
No, we're not. We're not ending on energy drinks.
Dude, I tell Holly the same thing. It's actually like horrible for you.
Dude, I drink like 1 a week. Okay, 2 a week. Yeah. No, it's like 2.
He's about to look up some like. I'm
Oh
telling you,
my
I saw this
gosh.
video. It was about Celsius, so I think Celsius. is
I
really
watched
bad.
that video
Yes,
today.
it has like 10 times the human amount of like consumption for acid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's facts. That's why I don't drink Celsius. Don't worry, I don't drink Celsius. Plus, they taste like battery acid. What the freak?
Excessive caffeine can lead to heart palpitations, anxiety, sleep disturbances. The high sugar content contributes to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and other health issues.
Yes, sir. Pre-med.
If you would like to see Jesus sooner, please drink energy drinks.
You added that. You added that.
But
Can we be like those guys, those like kids that do have a podcast? They just talk about like random junk. And they're like, "What's your favorite topping on pizza?" You know what I mean?
Do you like pineapple?
Oh yeah,
on
that was
pizza?
the question. It's like curly. I don't even know.
what
I don't
do
know.
you drop in Fortnite OG?
Pleasant Park.
Pleasant
Yeah.
Park.
No, that's valid. That's
Hey, give me
valid.
some dab, bro.
Pleasant Park or salty.
Oh,
Salty.
salty hit. It's a little too sweaty for me.
That's valid.
I'm actually upset y'all didn't get my Song of Solomon joke, but it's okay. That was a
No, I
great.
get what
that was
you
a
were saying.
fire joke. That was a fire joke.
Dude,
Okay.
you ever be seeing those like videos of like what if Paul had like a phone and it's like the AI generated?
Oh
like,
yeah, dude. I like characters in the Bible if they
Yes,
had a
yes.
phone.
Them jokes are so funny.
They are funny.
This is kind of random, but something that
We're really random right now. It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's
We're
fine.
not on any train of thought at this point.
This is straight brain rot.
Can we get a Nico? Would you rather? Nico.
He's developing one.
He is. He's cooking one up. You can use this as like a clip. It'll go viral for
yeah,
sure.
it's like him.
All right, look at the camera while you say it, if you don't mind. Oh my god, what are we doing?
I don't know if this is podcast approved.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I'm kidding. I don't have anything.
Oh
Dang, you really.
yeah, that.
Yeah, all
I'm
of
a
our
little.
viewers
I'm
are
a little
gone.
disappointed now.
They're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone at this point.
The retention rate is gonna. The video is gonna be an hour 3 minutes, and the retention rate's gonna be a minute 1 minute, and they're gonna
You mean
drop
An
out.
hour and 1 minute, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, I got what you're saying though.
All right, well we could be done.
Yeah, because honestly, we're hitting the most random things
Yeah,
right
this
now.
is random. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven.
Can you
above
please put this on the
with
Instagram,
wisdom,
please?
Power and love. Our God is an awesome God.
Everybody now.
yeah.
Our God. Okay.
All right, well thank you all for watching. Episode 3. What do y'all want to see? It's gonna be 5.
Yeah, hit up Eli to see like more topics in the future,
Yeah,
like
more
what y'all want to
topic,
hear about.
questions, people,
Unless we're the only
guests.
people that actually like listen to this
Yeah.
podcast.
And y'all gotta send in a bunch of suggestions so he makes these before he gets to college, because otherwise, when he gets to college, his future podcasts are gonna be him and then 2 furries right here. So.
Oh my gosh, Nico, stay on topic. We're trying to end.
All right, we're
the-
leaving. We're leaving.
We're out of here.
All right, I'm leaving now.
Oh wait, who used to do that? Oh, Eric.
Eric.
All right, I'm leaving now.
Okay, actually.
Anyways, yeah,
All right.
seriously though, like on a real note, I did gain a lot of clarification, and like I got a lot of value from this conversation. So I appreciate y'all for.
Yo, guys, thank you for watching.
Oh my god.
All right, part 2 coming soon.
All right, I got a lot from this too. I appreciate y'all a lot.
Yeah, seriously.
Eli is legendary for starting this.
He is.
Hey, and if
The
nobody
Eli
watches
Phillips
this
Perspective.
ever, we gained a lot.
We-
from
hey,
this.
we
gained
do.
everything.
That's. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Peace.